Hello, welcome to Skull RPG Podcast. My name's Dwight Skull.
My name's Jacob Skull.
And today we're going to teach you how to tell your story.
So Dwight, since we're on world building went a little long, I think we need to do kind of a two-parter on this one. But
Sure.
specifically more talking about how to do the improv, because if you're only building the bare bones of what you need to be able to adapt and expand on the fly.
Correct. So, think of it like if you've played a Minecraft game or almost any game where if you get to a certain point, you're loading.
Any procedurally generated world.
Right. And if they're doing it really well, you won't necessarily notice the load. But the point is, as you move like 7 steps forward, you're removing 7 or 8 steps behind you so you can obtain more distance in front of you. And what do I mean by that? Well, think about it. If you're starting your characters, your players off at level 1 or level 2 or 3, something low level, their world is a village. It's a thorp. It's a small town. And their influence is literally that big. It's just inside the town. And maybe they don't even have that much influence inside that town even. So the first handful of levels, they're exploring the caves in the area, the woods in the area. So I don't need to know what's on the other side of the world. I don't need to know what's even outside of the mountain range at the edge of my map, per se.
If they're lucky, they're getting about 50 miles outside that town.
If that.
Which is going to be mostly woods and trees, which is
plains.
You don't need to map out all of it. You just need to map out specific things that you need them to go to.
Right. And the nice thing is, so if you get a pre-made map, and we'll talk about pre-made maps, I'm sure, again. But if you get a pre-made map, you can just say, this is where you're at, and then, oh, I need a cave. Cool. Here's a cave. Oh, I need woods. Cool. Here's some woods. The idea here is that I'm not having to build out, like, the castle structure for the king, because unless I'm starting them off in the king's court, their entire world is never going to hit that right now.
Yep.
So your concept of like, so how do you build just enough? Well, as you're giving them choices of where to go, so at lower levels, it's like, oh, well, you can go to the caves, or you can go explore the woods, or you can explore why, the beasts in the sky's farm keeps disappearing. Cool. Well, whichever direction they go, so going to the farms, I don't need the woods, and I don't need the caves. So going to the caves, I don't need the woods, and I don't need the plains. And then they can explore the other stuff if they want. But again, I can put the caves back. If they go, after they're done with the caves, I want to go explore the woods, we can do that. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at it in terms of like, I guess, a modular way.
Yeah.
Where you're just building out the modules that they need, and you're giving them choice by not saying, here's the module you have to go to, but by saying, here's 3 different places you could go.
And they could potentially go to all of them.
Sure.
But you don't need to have everything planned out in every single module if they're going to tackle here.
Well, if they're going to go one location, so you need to have enough information. So this would be hard, right? Mm-hmm. I guess this might sound daunting for some game masters. They hear, wait a minute, I have to have 3 adventures planned for tonight? Hold up. Sort of and not. So sort of is this. Yes, you do have to have 3 ideas for where they could end up. Maybe you don't care, and all 3 then end up solving the same mystery or the same puzzle or the same thing, where they get a piece from the caves, they get a piece from the woods, and they get a piece from the farm, and that all leads them to a big bad person who's coordinating attacks across the entire village for whatever reason. Cool. Now, if you just saw, I just literally made up a game on the fly there. That said, on the same level, I'd do the exact same thing. Oh, you're going to the caves. I'd find a cave complex that wasn't too complex for their character level.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any monsters for it. Well, it's a cave. So I'm going to go look at the animals. I'm going to go find cave-dwelling animals. So I'm going to have a thing of wolves. I'm going to have some spiders, big ones. I'm going to have maybe a bear at the end of this. And there might be maybe a druid or something, like a lower-level druid in the very back of the cave who's kind of coordinating all of this stuff. And they have the information that you need to take you to the next part. And then let's just do the forest really quick. So as you're doing the forest, I'm going to grab forest things. Again, could be animals, but I could have a bunch of bandits living in the forest and some archers, and you got to go take out that bandit camp, and there might be a 3rd level fighter there that is the leader, and you got to take that person out to get the information you need.
Yeah.
And we can talk about the same thing on the fields as well. The whole point is, I'm not building out this world. I'm not building out the Elven Kingdoms for 1,000 years, or even this year. I'm only building out the village and the thorp and maybe you're right, maybe 50 miles. That might be too much, but maybe 50 miles around, and my adventures look like a quick and dirty. This is the end goal. I'm going to have my big bad or my mini boss. Think of it like a video game. Honestly, this is the best thing you can think of. I need my mini bosses planned out. I don't care about who their goons are, who their thugs are. Their thugs could be 7 animals out of the animal manual, and I have an idea of what I would do, but I don't care. Maybe I have one bandit archetype.
Yep.
And that's good enough for me. I'll have 50 of them, or I'll have 4. It just depends on how big the characters are.
You only need to have the head leader be actually fleshed out, and the rest you're just going to go grab random stats for whatever makes sense.
Absolutely.
And then the other thing is, just 50 miles or 10 miles or whatever many miles outside the village sounds daunting. But if you're looking at it well, they're not going to be traveling through every single square inch of the forest because nothing's happening. They're only going to be caring about specific areas in there. So now, if you're thinking at it from a procedurally generated world standpoint, if you're only loading in Minecraft 10 or 15 chunks out of that, it's not hard.
Right.
Because it's just 12 caves in that in that 50 miles. And they can go to all those caves if they so choose, depending on where my plot takes them. And I might run them through all those caves. But I don't need to have all those caves right at that time.
Yeah.
For what I'm running tonight, I only need 2 caves, or 1 cave, or no caves.
Right. Or I need a cave, and then I can make up a cave on the fly. Or if I'm not concerned about it, I have a couple of pre-generated maps that I've downloaded online and ready to go. On that note, if you want some help with like NPC names and place names and maps and all that,
location names, town names,
taverns. We have a $3 module you can pick up if you go to skullrpg.com/fantasy. It will take you to basically our course on that. It's $3. You sign up, you're going to get 3,000 NPC names. You're going to get a tavern name generator, a place name generator.
It's like over 100 maps.
Yeah, I think so. Like over 100 maps are there. And anyway, you can do that, and you really get a big jump on all this stuff that we're talking about. Or you can find all that stuff online for free. It just not the tavern name generator from us, and not the name generator by any stretch of imagination. But you can find all the NPC names, and you can find the maps that we found as well. But if you want it real quick and easy in one location, $3, have at it, and love to have you over there again. skullrpg.com/fantasy. You will find it.
Hey, thanks for listening.
And for more resources, please go to skullrpg.com.